Hey guys, Ray from loveyourrv.com, and today we got another tool related video. A while back I did a post showing all the tools I carry as a full-time RVer, and one of the commenters said maybe a good post would be my top 20 tools that I carry, sort of the must-have tools. So I've had to go through and really rack my brain to think which 20 tools I really would want and need. Sort of the ones I use all the time, my kind of go-to tools that I'm using all the time as a full-time RVer. So I think I've narrowed it down. It was quite the challenge. So let me go through these tools one by one and show you them and let you know what I use them for around the RV. First thing first is kind of the biggest tool of the bunch, and that's my folding ladder. And it's a Warner ladder. I picked it up I think last year at Home Depot or something, and I'm really glad I did. It's been a really handy tool. It stood up to all the rigors of RVing in the desert and in the wet salt air. Hasn't rusted or corroded, and I use it all the time. Without this thing, I don't think the top half of my RV would be in very good shape at all. Use it for waxing the RV and any repairs or maintenance I need to do up on the sidewalls or along the roof line. Next is my basic set of sockets and wrenches. I guess you could class this as a lot of different tools, but for this I'll class it. I consider it one of my tools. So it's used all the time for fixing mechanical stuff on the truck and around the RV. Let's see, I guess we'll go from big to small. So this is the second biggest item here. Really handy item, use it all the time. Anytime I'm doing a repair or a mod, need to undo a bolt, I'm going to go for that. I've had this one. This is from Sears. I've had this thing for, Christ, I must have had this for like 30 years now. Still working great. It's the type of thing you only usually have to buy once in your life. 12-volt tire pump inflator. So I use this quite often. Top up the tires, top up my pin boxes, airbag, and my bicycle tires. Can't do without that, that's for sure. A good axe. So this is a good size axe. What kind of camper is not going to have an axe? Chopping up firewood. Also, if I'm out boondocking and get some debris in the way, I can hack it out of the way. It's also good for acting as like a sledgehammer, kind of a persuader. Also self-defense, so yeah, that's a must-have tool for sure. Next, torque wrench. This is something I use all the time. Checking the lug nut torque on my trailer is really important. Make sure they're not loosening off. Also on my truck. Every once in a while I'll also check the pin box, make sure the bolts on that are at the proper torque, and I'll crawl under the rig and check my suspension bolts. Make sure they're not coming loose. And a good quality cordless drill. This one is one from Canadian Tire. It's a lithium ion, but it's got 20 volts, so it's got lots of power to it, lots of torque. I mainly use it every time we set up or get ready to go. I got the little 3/4 inch nut on here for the stabilizer, the rear stabilizer jacks, so I can bring them up, put them down really quickly, and of course to drill any holes or have to do any major work where I have to put in a lot of screws. Good thing to have. And similar to that is this little screw gun, little Makita screw gun. I've had this for many years. I used to use it in my TV repair business. But it's a nice small lightweight unit for any type of screws you're going to have to drive around the rig. You can also get a little attachment, put bits in it if you need to, but I can't see myself not having one of these. It's a real go-to tool, especially if I'm doing any installations like solar installations. I used it a lot, or any type of modifications I'm making to the RV. And my latest tool, I picked up this Milwaukee oscillating Multitool. So this thing's going to save me, I haven't used it much yet, but it's going to save me from carrying a lot of different tools like scrapers, sanders, a lot of different saws. This thing I'll be able to just swap the blades or the attachments on the end. It'll do the work of a lot of different tools. So should be able to wean down some of the tools I'm carrying just with this one tool. I guess that's why they call it a multi-tool. Oh. Good old simple caulking gun, but you need one. Always applying new sealant, especially when your rig's getting old. It's almost yearly. You're going to have to strip out some sealant and reapply it. On the roof, you go through a lot of die-core, a lot of silicone sealant on the side walls and things. If you ever need to, like when I did my repair of my water heater, I had to put some new sealant in there. So you're always going to need to have a caulking gun. And a different sort of gun. This is an infrared gun that gives you temperature. So I use this a lot if I'm going to check the tire temperatures or the wheel bearing temperatures, or even on the truck if I want to get an idea of the radiator temperature, transmission temperature, anything you need to check temperatures with. You even can check your barbecue grill temperature, all sorts of things. I've done a blog post on all the different things you can do with this, so I'll link that in the description below, but I find these really handy to have around the RV. Next, I couldn't be without my trusty old Fluke Multimeter. So this is great for checking, make sure your batteries are the correct voltage, checking fuses, wiring for continuity. Also, if you're leery about the power pedestal, you can check the voltages on that. Just anything to do with electrical and electronics. It's saved me a lot of money in repairs. I've done my own electrical repairs and appliance repairs with it, so it's one thing I just can't be without. Flashlight, gotcha. Get yourself a good flashlight. This one I picked up, I think it was Ace Hardware. So it's got this slide out thing if you need it as a work light. Magnetic on the end, so it'll stick to any metal. And then of course it has the regular beam as well. But it's really a bright light. Got a little light metal body. Next we have a tire inflation gauge. This is a digital one. There's a little light on it as well. Gives the readout in digital. This one also came with some knives and stuff on the bottom. There's a file and a saw and a little Phillips. Also, I'm going to carry this in the truck because this will cut a seat belt. And also at the end here, it had this thing for hammering out a window. So that could be handy if we were trapped in the truck. Picked that up as Canadian Tire recently. But you need to have yourself a good tire gauge. Check those trailer tires pretty well every time we get ready to move out, and every once in a while check the truck tires. This little hand tool is called a Hive Tool. I guess because they use it a lot in beehives to pry open the beehives. But for general scraping around the rig, or if you have to pry something open, great tool to have. Use it all the time. Next, a good quality multi-bit screwdriver. These ones are made by, I find this Pick Quick brand to be among the best. And I can also use the bits in my drill or my screw gun. So it usually comes with some Phillips bits, but also you want to make sure you get the square bits. The number 2 square bit's the most often used, especially as far as my trailer goes. Up in Canada we call it a Robertson bit. So yeah, a good quality one of those. I just leave it in the drawer, in the junk drawer in the kitchen. I'm always grabbing that, tighten down screws and things. For electrical work, you're going to want to have a wire stripper and crimper. So anytime you're going to have to install something electrical, you're going to need to strip wire. And sometimes in repairs, the RV is full of these plastic butt connectors for crimping the wire. So if you ever have to repair a loose one of those or put them in, you're going to want a tool like this. It has the different crimper sections in there, and then on the different wires. Also looks like it can cut screws, so good all-around tool. This one's from Channel Lock. And speaking of channel locks, you're going to want a good set of channel locks. I use these a lot. I just leave it in the bin beside where my sewer and water hookups are, in case I run into needing to tighten up a hose, or sometimes you go to a place and the spigot's knob has been lost and all you got is a little end piece. So you need one of these to open the water, close the water. Any type of plumbing around the rig, I use it if I need to loosen off some PEX tubing on a plumbing. Good all-around tool to have. Needlenose pliers. These are a nice long skinny set of needle nose. Use them all the time if I have to get into a tight area, or I'm having to twist wire, anything like that. Anything you need to twist a little piece of metal. Just a great tool to have. I can't see myself with being without a good set of needlenose pliers, especially from my electronics background. It was one of the most often used tool. And next we have, some people call it Exacto Knife or a box cutter, but get a good quality one of these. This one is, I think it's Olaf. Anyway, it's a hard plastic one with really good blades on it. So, you know, I used it a lot when I did my renos, and I was cutting up a lot of carpet and linoleum. Also, it's great for opening my Amazon packages. And finally, the 20th tool on the list is this set of lineman pliers, but they're from a company called VAM Pliers. I did a review on them. The steel was made in Japan, and they've just been fantastic. The grip on the teeth is amazing. It bites into anything. And if you see on the end there, it's kind of a jaw shape, so it can grab onto stripped screws and stripped bolts and extract them for you. So, but I use it as a good all-around round cutter, wire cutter, anything I need to grip really hard. I use this all the time. Well, there you go. There's my top 20 must-have tools for my RVing life. If you have any ideas of your own or ones that you can't do without, tools you can't do without, let us know in the comments below. It's always nice to find new tools that we must have. And I hope that helped the newbies give a good idea of what kind of tools you may need to take along on your full-time RVing adventures. Till next time, Ray from LoveYouRV.com. Thanks for watching, really appreciate it. Cheers, everyone.